Grand Rising, everybody. I hope that you guys are having a great Wednesday so far. Grand Rising. Hey, Miss Dolores. Hello there. Hey, Lolita. Hello there. Hello, Teresa. Deja. Hello, 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 hello. It's midweek already. We at Wednesday already, y'all. Jeez, where did the time go? Like I just like for real, for real. Like where did the time go? I guess because I've been like into this whole this Diddy stuff so much. It's kind of like I'm losing track of time. Yeah, already. Like the weekend is already almost here. Um, anyways. Hey Elizabeth. Anyways, another day, a new story. Well, technically, Lord, not a news story. They did give us more information, and the last time that we did speak about Kei'Mani's case, I did tell you guys that I did not want to comment on it until I knew the facts. Okay. And the facts did come out a couple weeks ago, but because we were in this whole Diddy thing lately, I didn't get a time to kind of like, get caught up on Kei'Mani's case. So this is a perfect time to do so. Okay. Hey, Divine Awakening. Hello, 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 hello. Hey, Mr. Soso. Hello there. How are you? So this is just an update so that we can stay, current on what's going on within this case. I will say that this situation, I feel like that the people feels that there should be more people arrested in her case. And I do too. Because from the mother to the grandmother to the cousin that we still don't know where he is. Many people said that he is no longer living. I did not see anything about that at all and whether or not that was true. But for some reason, I just feel like that there should be more people. But as I said very much early in this, I think the same thing that has happened in the Zaya's case where her aunt and grandmother has been given immunity. I feel like that the grandmother has been given immunity too in this situation, which is kind of sad. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like that she knew. Like I feel like that she knew that there's no way that we have family members coming saying that she was allowing people to be inappropriate with her. People she was abusing her. She was coming to school with bruises on her body and things of that nature at the hands of her grandmother threatening to kill her. She felt as though that her grandmother wanted to harm her, and this woman did not know. So I kind of dislike immunity in some instances because immunity allows people who are very much key players in crimes to get away. And I feel like that there was so many people in Kei'Mani's situation that should be charged, mother included. Hey Janicia. Yes, let's like this live, please. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alrighty. So for those of you who do not know much about the case, Kei'Mani Latigue was a 13-year-old girl that was residing with her grandmother, and they were from Toledo, Ohio, and they lived on Elm Street in Toledo. So Dorothy had custody of Kei'Mani, and she was her primary caregiver at the time. Okay. So from what the grandmother says, she had just now got Kei'Mani. But honestly and truly, I am one that believes that she had already had Kei'Mani. It just wasn't on document as of yet. So a woman named Lisa White also had lived in the residence, and she would frequently babysit Kei'Mani when Miss Dorothy was at work. Okay. Now it was also alleged that Dorothy had multiple people living in and out of this house, druggies, sex workers, whoever. People were coming in and out of this home, is what a lot of people from Toledo has spoken out to say. So on March the 18th of this year, Kei'Mani was reported missing after her grandmother had returned home from a work shift and she had found several disturbing signs inside of the residence. So her disappearance has sparked a multi-agency search and an investigation that had quickly focused on the father, Darnell Jones, okay? Or Darnell Jones Ogletree, or however. So from my understanding, it all depends on what area he got arrested. His name varies. So he was adopted. So he started off as an Ogletree, and then he went and his name was then Jones. So he also, his cousin, and this is the cousin KP that we talked about very early on in the investigation, who they say played a role in this a lot. And it's still a question mark in regards to KP, because it's like, where is he? I did see some things, like I said earlier, that he's deceased, but haven't seen anything confirmed. Maybe if you guys out in Toledo have, please let me know. So days later, Kei'Mani's body was then discovered in a burned out residence. Thank you, Pashia. Thank you, Pashia. Thank you. Did I get it right? Hey, the real books. Jones was arrested after being shot by law enforcement. He did survive, of course. He got shot in the stomach, and that wound kind of slowed things up a little bit in regards to press conferences and things of that nature. It kind of slowed things up, but eventually he did go for it in his arraignment and his hearing. Pache. See, I switch it up every day. So Dorothy Latigue, okay, on March the 18th of 2025, Dorothy Latigue did return home from her overnight shift on March the 18th, and immediately had noticed that something was wrong. So Kei'Mani was not home at the time. There was a rug that displayed the burns. There was a rug that was displaced. The burners on the stove were turned on, and Kei'Mani's pajamas and underwear were found. And they're also saying that the underwear were found in the dining room area. And Dorothy had later told the police that that was highly unusual because Kei'Mani never changed her clothes in that particular area of the home. Okay. Hey, Donisha, how are you? So Dorothy had called Kei'Mani's father, Darnell Jones, okay, and informed him of the disappearance and the clothing that was found. She did state that when she returned later to look again, the blood-stained underwear were missing, and told detectives that she believed that Jones may have taken them. So here's the timeline of what they have put out within the, most recent times, okay? So March 18th, Dorothy comes home. The stove burners, the pajamas, the blood-stained underwear, and then Darnell Jones contacted by Dorothy, where she didn't came home. When she came home. So March 18th through the 20th, that's when this whole search was happening. Now keep in mind that when she first was reported missing, that Dorothy says that she came home from work, okay, and she's noticed that the door was ajar and everything was displaced, and Kei'Mani wasn't there, of course. There was some form of phone call in which they had alleged that Kei'Mani had called her dad and told her dad to come to the house because she felt like that someone was trying to break in the home. And that's why he said that he had to go to the house. Okay, because Kei'Mani had contacted him. All right. Now, moving on to between March 18th and the 20th, both Darnell Jones and KP are then interviewed by the police. Jones had told the detectives that Kei'Mani had called him that night and told him that she was scared because someone was trying to break in. So Jones had claimed that him and KP had waited outside the house until about 12:30 a.m. And then Jones-Dixon, who was KP, he dropped him off on Willard Street at a Willard Street home. Okay. So KP timeline and details of what he said did not match the known facts of the investigation, which kind of allowed investigators to know that something is going on here. Because when they begin to see inconsistencies very on like this, it means that there's lies being told, and these can be key players. So there was a warrant that was placed out there that indicated that detectives did believe that both men were untruthful. So the surveillance footage has showed both men at the Elm Street home with Kei'Mani during the relevant time frames. On March the 21st, Kei'Mani's body was then found inside of a burned out home on Miami Street. A search warrant was executed at Jones Willard Street, a residence in which he had shared with his then girlfriend, Nina Turner. Okay. And this is Kei'Mani's father's girlfriend house. Okay. So Turner had told the police that she had witnessed Jones take a plastic mat out of a Ford Explorer and placed it under the basement stairs. So detectives had seized the plastic mat and the muddy boots that was always also there, basketball shoes, and some sweatpants. Additional warrants were then obtained to seize a night owl security camera, okay, from the Willard Street house. So Turner had revealed that Jones had asked her to shut off the security cameras the morning that Kei'Mani had disappeared. So police had also obtained some cell phone records for Darnell Jones, Tierra, who is the mother, okay, and then Dorothy Latigue. Now, what's very interesting is that I remember when I did interview Tiara, and I'm gonna tell you something that really stood out to me. And I can say this now, okay? I held this for a minute. What stuck out to me is when she said, he bought Kei'Mani to come and see me, okay? And I gave him money. I gave him $60 because I had just now had to pay Dorothy for the child support. So I gave him money to drop her off and take her back home and for gas, like for gas and stuff, and get her something to eat. And then she also said that she gave Kei'Mani something for her birthday. I mean, for when she came there, went to the birthday party for her other child, and she gave Kei'Mani some money as well. What stuck out to me is I found it really, really strange that the one time that you see Kei'Mani, after after we've seen over and over again that Dorothy wasn't allowing her to see her. We've heard that over and over and over and over again. And the very odd time that you get a chance to see her, this happens. And it was kind of strange to me because it's like it made me feel as though that she knew more than what we were provided with. She knew way more than what we were provided with. Not to mention, even after my interview, she had did like 2-3 more interviews. And then it turned into a money grab after that. And then we had the whole, she didn't attend the funeral when she was supposed to. She says that they blocked her from going to the funeral. But it came out that that wasn't actually true in some instances, where she did have a chance to attend. She just didn't. She attended on her own time, is what they say. And it just kind of stuck with me that this one particular time that you get a chance to see her, you have this so-called, because I remember her saying, my baby father would never do anything like this. My baby father, I've never seen him wear boots. He would never do. And when on her first interview that she did with the best friend, it was my boyfriend, me and my baby daddy, my baby daddy, my baby daddy. And then it was my interview with her. I would have never thought that he would do anything like this. And it's like, she did say that, yeah, it was a part of her who was still fighting for this so-called baby father that you not with anymore. But it made me feel like that their relationship was a little bit more closer than what we thought, if you get what I'm saying. Because if this is the only child that you guys have together, but he's the only person that gets to see her from Dorothy's standpoint, you don't get to see her. What are you guys communicating about? Because Kei'Mani is 13 years old. If this was a so-called father-daughter relationship, his communication goes straight to her, and y'all not together anymore. So for him to be the one to bring her to the house and then this happens, it just always was a red flag for me. And the fact that her phone had to get a warrant for it, it leads to me to believe that there was some form of communication that happened either during the investigation, before the investigation, after Kei'Mani went missing, during the search. There was something that was said to where she needed her phone seized. Because if this is a mother who is not really in Kei'Mani's life like they say she was, and she had been fighting to see her and fighting to get custody of her, what could be in your phone if she really wasn't even around you like that? If she really wasn't, what were you guys' communication? I thought that the relationship was closer than what it appeared to be. Exactly. It gave that it was closer than we have a child together and I get to see, he gets to see her more than I do. But it felt like that there was still some communications that were going on even leading up to this whole situation. Because for her to still be fighting for him and like, my baby daddy, my baby daddy, my baby daddy, even during all of this was kind of strange to me. It was just really strange. So I'm kind of not surprised that Kei'Mani's mother's phone had to get searched. Now, as you guys know, I didn't do it on this side of things, but I did do a deep dive into Kei'Mani's mother background. She lied on an interview, okay? Kei'Mani's mother, when she lost Kei'Mani, here's how the timeline went. She got arrested, okay? When she got arrested, she was also put on house arrest. She also had to take, and I seen her court paperwork, okay? She also was mandated to stay on her medication. She also had to attend AA and therapies and things of that nature, and she was not following through with that. And then on the backhand of that, she was out here drugging, drinking, partying, running the streets on the brink of when she had Kei'Mani and in that first 9 months. And then right after that, Dorothy got arrested for that whole hammer incident. Okay. So of course, because Dorothy have just now received a domestic violence within her household, Kei'Mani going to her was not an option at the time. Was not an option. So this is why I've always been one to believe that the only reason that Kei'Mani was with that other lady, who many say is like Dorothy's friend and godmother to Kiara and all this weird stuff, is because Dorothy couldn't get her. This is why I'm one that also believes that even while she was supposed to be with this woman, she spent a lot of time with Dorothy, even though she wasn't supposed to be there. I'm going to give you an example. On paperwork, this woman is her custodial guardian, okay? But when it comes to the physical things and where she stays and how often she's with Dorothy, that is where she was. That is what I honestly believe is that, and that's why the timeline, this whole, because if we're thinking about it, we've had people that come out to say, well, she was at her aunt's house during the summer, and sometimes her aunt will leave her outside, and then the neighbors would have to bring Kei'Mani into their home because she would leave her outside with nothing, no food, nothing, and just put her outside. That lets us know that she's over there with Dorothy for real, and not this woman. And this also goes back to how the woman said that all suddenly she's had Kei'Mani all these years, and then she randomly just drops her off with Dorothy. That doesn't even make any sense. There's too much love there that's invested. You're not just dropping a child off that you daggone there raised. Okay, that's just not happening. I'm sorry. It's just when you have invested that much love into a child, you're just not, okay, here you go. No, that's not how that's gonna go. Right, because my dad had custody, but physically I was with my mom. Exactly. So that's why you have all these different schools and stuff, because ask yourself this. If Kei'Mani was with this woman all this time, why would there so many school transfer if she just now says she's only been with her for what? She said she had Kei'Mani for the last year. Was it the last year, the last 2 years that Dorothy said that she had her? So what's up with all these schools? So you mean to tell me it was 6 schools in a year? No, that ain't what it is. She was with this other woman by paperwork, but she was with Dorothy for real, for real. And I also believe that her, Dorothy, and that woman made some form of monetary agreement because Kei'Mani came with a $900 child support check. And Dorothy wanted it. She wanted that child support check. That is honestly what I believe. And the only way that she can ensure that she get it, I'm going to put her with my friend for paper. But in all actuality, she would spend a lot of time with me. So throughout this whole entire thing, I really believe that's why the timeline is off. You know, when CPS says we've only received 2 calls within the last 2 years, but you have multitudes of people over 2, 3, 4 years that said that they've made calls to you guys that y'all say that y'all ain't received. How? And if she only was supposed to be with Dorothy within the last year, that lets us know that she's been with Dorothy longer than a year. That's what that lets us know. So, when it comes to the phone data, one phone associated with the investigation made the last call at 1:49 a.m. and it pinged off of Dearborn Avenue Tower, which is in the proximity of the homes that both Jones, Willard Street, and Jones-Dixon, who is KP. Okay. And then the number was not likely Dorothy's, since she was at work on Angola Road, 8 miles away, and had not left her workplace. I find it really strange that they're saying that it wasn't her. Meanwhile, it's very likely to be her. I found that strange too, but go off. So police also executed a warrant on the roadie delivery app account for KP, and investigators had sought GPS data for vehicle movement as well during and after Kei'Mani's disappearance, and that happened on the 22nd of March. On the 23rd, detectives had become aware of a recorded phone conversation between Darnell Jones and his mother, Linda Ogletree. And in this conversation, Jones had allegedly implicated himself in this. This lets us know that his mother knew some things and she chose not to say nothing, which is disgusting. You knew some stuff. You could have been the one that helped this whole entire situation, but instead you chose to protect your son. So the police had executed a search warrant for Jones-Dixon, who was KP, in his house. Okay, they seized a pistol, ammunition, multiple phones and tablets, a sweatsuit, a hatchet, a knife, which was in the third floor bedroom, and a DNA swab from a red spot that was on the staircase. Darnell Jones was then shot and captured by the police on March the 25th. Following his arrest, Jones had allegedly confessed to dragging Kei'Mani into a burned house on Miami Street, killing her with a knife. On March the 28th, a warrant was then obtained for the phone records of Linda Ogletree, Jones's mother, and she had previously told the police that she had not been in contact with Jones, which was then contradicted by the recovered phone call. Police had also obtained phone records for Lisa White. This is the woman that was living in the home, the woman who lived on Elm Street with Dorothy and Kei'Mani, and White had told the police that she was not present at the residence on the night of the disappearance. Now, when it comes to the investigation, they have the surveillance footage, the eyewitness accounts that directly implicated Jones in concealing evidence, the removal of the surveillance footage from the home in which he had lived with the girlfriend, as well as the bloody mat, the clothing and the muddy boots, fire damage at the crime scene, as well as weapons and possible DNA that was collected, and then incriminating phone calls between Jones and his mother that contradicted the sworn statement. Now, Jones is currently right now charged with aggravated murder, rape, and kidnapping, and he has pled not guilty. So Jones is eligible for the death penalty, is what they're saying, and if convicted, that is what he possibly can get. Now, Kei'Mani's death has triggered a community outrage. So as you guys know, they are working to do some form of child protection force out there in Toledo. And I did get some reports from people that's in Toledo that they said that they only have 2 caseworkers working for the entire town, which is kind of crazy. So hopefully that you guys are going to be working on that too. Now, some things that did come out since the last time that we spoke about the Kei'Mani situation is that the house was burnt down. And then there were some random people faces that popped up on social media saying that they knew something about this. There was also some messages that came forth to say that apparently he had owed someone some money or something, the father. But I don't know this to be true. But I do know about it and it was sent to me. I just haven't seen anything to be able to make that make sense. And I also haven't seen any other arrest either. So I do know about it, but I don't know how factual it is. Hey, Lisa, the caseworkers are overwhelmed. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how factual that is. And then they did say that someone burned down the home. And then, of course, the state decided to go in and finish it off and get rid of all of the house things that was remaining from the home that her body was found in. Shout out to the people in Toledo though, because the way that you guys are handling Kei'Mani's case and also her memorial area around the home in which she was found, they have literally landscaped the area, y'all. And she has like it's her own it's like her own place. Like everything that people have dropped off, they have laid down flowers and grass and things of that nature. And people are going out there still to this day daily to ensure that there's no trash or debris that's around her memorial area. So shout out to those people that are out there in Toledo that is keeping Kei'Mani's name going, but also continuing to apply pressure to all of the children that are out there, because it's a lot going on in Toledo. Yes, it's a lot going on out there. And it's sad to say, I still think that there needs to be more people arrested. I still think that Kei'Mani's grandmother played a huge role into this. And she is not unguilty. Like, I don't think that she is innocent in this in any way. You know, from the phone pinging to and you know what's crazy? Have any of you guys heard about the text messages? You guys know what text messages I'm talking about. The messages in which she said she received the ransom. Why is that not being mentioned anywhere? That goes back to many of us saying that that was her. Because why is that not being mentioned in this investigation anywhere? These so-called messages, if she took them to the authorities, right, they would be able to tell us and put this into this whole affidavit release and, you know, all of this, and let us know where those messages came from. Could have been this unidentifiable phone that pinged that is not Dorothy. Heavy on the not Dorothy, because that's what they're saying. It's not Dorothy. Could it be? You know? She was eating off the money too. Absolutely. No. What you mean, proud mom? No. You haven't heard anything about it either? Those messages? I haven't either. Now, give me 1 second, because I did see this here, because I wanted to see if I can pull this up for you guys, because they did drop a 911 transcript for her 911 call. Okay, so let me see if I'm able to pull it up here. See, possibly. Are you guys able to hear that I just now played, or no? Let me know before I continue. I may have to pull it up on the screen. Were you guys able to hear that? Yes, please like this video if you like this video. No? Okay. I'll pull it up right here. 1 second. Present.
Yes, I'd like to make a police report.
Okay, what's the address?
Elm Street,
Okay, what kind of report?
missing person.
Okay, what's your name?
Mine or hers?
Yours.
Dorothy.
Okay, and who's
Latigue.
missing?
Kei'Mani.
Is this your daughter, son?
This is my granddaughter.
Okay, do you have custody?
I do.
Okay, how old is she?
13.
How long ago she's been missing?
To the best of my understanding, she's just been missing this morning. And I called her school and went up to her school, and they said she's not there.
What school does she go to?
Spring.
Do you remember, did you see what she was wearing before she left?
No, she's usually going to school before I get home from work.
Okay. Is she black, white, or Hispanic?
She's black. She looks Hispanic.
Okay, and then what was her last name?
Latigue.
Your phone number?
419.
Okay, does she have a phone on her that you're aware of?
She does, and it's dead because it's going straight to voicemail.
All right, they'll be out then. They'll be out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, bye.
That is the calmest 911 call that I've ever heard in the century of my life. I've never heard someone. She's talking like she's just talking to a friend about a walk in a park. Okay, she sounds mean and angry. I don't hear a care in the world about your 13-year-old granddaughter. You just arrived home to find panties in the floor. And your granddaughter is missing. The burners on your stove is on. Your door is ajar. Her cell phone is not there. She's not in school. And this is how you sound. I will forever think that this woman played a role in this child's murder. I will forever feel like that this woman deserves to be sitting right next to Darnell Jones. There is nothing that anyone is going to be able to tell me. I know what a grandmother's love felt like because I was raised by one. I know what a grandmother's love and affection and compassion and concern feels like because I was raised by one. So I know that this is not a grandmother with any type of compassion or care in the world about her 13-year-old granddaughter that she says is in her custody, that is nowhere to be found at the time of this 911 call. So I hope, which I believe that they have given this woman immunity. I do. I do believe that. I believe that they have given her immunity to testify against this man because he holds the bulk of a lot of the charges. And as I told you guys before, they got to go with the person in which they know for a fact they can get a conviction. Her conviction and his conviction will possibly not even be equal in her role. So it's best to use her as a witness versus a defendant in this case. But I wish that was not the case. This woman played a role in this. Every move that she has made since the moment that Kei'Mani went missing is flawed. From the time of the 911 call to the investigation to how she acted on the crime scene when the body was found to the funeral and how she did that. Everything in which this woman has done has shown us, the public, that she had no care for Kei'Mani, that Kei'Mani was nothing but a check to her, and that's the only thing that she cared about. I do believe that Tierra, yes, I interviewed Tierra in a surprise interview. I do believe that the fact that I seen that your name and your phone had to get a search warrant for it, there's something here too. Because why? If you're not really in communication with this man, and the only reason that you were talking about him was for Kei'Mani, why would they need your phone? If he was only to bring her to you, and the last time you talked to him is when he was taking her back home, why would they need your phone? You didn't even live with her. Didn't even live in the same area as her. And the one time that she do get to come to see you, as you say, this happens. It's just crazy to me. It's just really bizarre, and it's really crazy, and it's kind of strange. Honestly and truly. This is not a grandmother. It's not. This is not a grandmother. She is not even a mom either. But how she bore such an evil son. That's not her son. So Tierra is her daughter. The mother. Kei'Mani's mother is Dorothy's daughter. Yeah. And yeah, it's just kind of crazy. So he did do his hearing, which was publicized, of course. And for some reason he had time to smile. kind of pissed me off because I'm trying to see what's so happy. Like, what is there to be so happy about? He had time to smile in court and things of that nature, as if you're not there for doing one of the most sadistic crimes that ever can be done to a child. But you had time to sit or as a defendant in your daughter's murder and smile about anything. I don't know what's so funny. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I just thought it was really disgusting. So he did do his hearing. Um, and yeah, so that's who we are right now. A lot of people were asking me for any updates on the whole Kei'Mani situation. I've been wrapped up in this Diddy thing. So I had to take a pause to go over everything that's come out so far. Okay. There are some other things, that's there, but this is the bulk of the most important stuff in regards to this entire case. They of course have added way more charges. As you guys see, they've added, you have the murder, the SA, and other things were added within the last couple of weeks. So they keep stacking things on top of him as the investigation has proceeded. But that's where we are, okay, with everything. If you are new here, please make sure that you definitely do follow me. I definitely will appreciate it. I do go live here on YouTube Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please make sure that you do subscribe, okay? Subscribe. I did message Evangelist yesterday. She hasn't responded as of yet, guys. As you guys know, yesterday was her birthday, but she did have surgery, and I'm still waiting for her response. If I do hear from her, I will put a message into the spaces so that you guys can know that she's okay and send her your well wishes. But she is healing right now after her surgery. And when the updates do come through, I'll let you guys know. And if Evangelist, if you're watching, check your messages because I did message her, y'all. She's not a mother because her daughter is a representative of her. That's true. That's true. I've been trying to reach out too. Yeah, she just had her. Let me see if she possibly responded while we've been sitting here. So I messaged her, yes, because I was gonna message her before her surgery, but I said no because I want to make sure that she's okay after surgery. So I just messaged her after. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Let's see if she responded. Come on, thing. Not yet. She didn't respond as of yet. I sent her a message about 5:44 yesterday. I figured she should be out by then, and yeah, a little wake, but she hasn't responded as of yet. Alrighty, guys. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bigo, I'm on my way to you. Okay. I am on my way to you. We will be continuing on with this whole Diddy. I will say, y'all, we are now in the stages of the RICO. Remember, I've been telling you guys, I'm waiting to see the RICO. We are officially there. And I'm going to tell you who kicked it off. The mother and the inner circle, ex-assistant. They have literally begun to show us the RICO. Yeah. So today we're going to proceed into the Diddy stuff again. I'm going to be going over the updates of yesterday, and then we're going to get updated on what's happening today. Okay. Did you hear the Prince tape? I did, but the question is, I'm wondering if it's real. That's what I'm wondering. If I don't mention something, y'all, 9 times out of 10, I heard it. But y'all know I like to stick to the facts. And so I don't know if it's valid or not, but I have heard it. I did hear it. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. And thank you for watching. And thank you for tuning in to True Crime with Savage RoyalT.